Alright, people say content creators are bought out and that, like, we can't have normal opinions because we are, shills. Let me tell you something though, I am very expensive to buy, so I'm gonna say my true opinions, my true beliefs about this situation, and that is that, okay? Just want to make that clear. Second thing is, yeah, we are super close to 18,000 subs. Might not be the right video to, like, call this out, but it is always appreciated. So if you like underrated and underappreciated champions and you like Spider-Woman, which I do, you could tell by my extended intro that hopefully brought good vibes to the video because she's such a cool character at the end of the day, and she is just so much fun to play, and she just has a ton to offer. Like, for example, stopping Nick Fury's second life. That's pretty cool. She does a lot of very cool things at base, and there's a lot to talk about with what she does at base, and there's also some things to talk about with what she isn't going to do anymore. But I do want to just, like, talk about what exactly happened, and the gameplay, not gonna comment on it too much for the rest of the video. It's just here to be some good background, not background noise, background video. So yeah, let's talk about it. So Spider-Woman's rebalancing thingy came out today, and they've decided to completely remove the ensnare ability from Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. How do I feel about that? Well, there are pros and cons for that change, for sure. My biggest issue is I have gotten so used to this character countering evade that I feel like taking that away completely just really leaves a sour feeling in my mouth. I do not like how they completely got rid of the evade counter because I have used her so many times to counter evade. She is honestly my go-to evade counter because she's rank 4 max sig because of how good she is with other things, and like having that evade counter as a little extra bonus is absolutely amazing, and I love it, and I don't want it to go away, and I hope it doesn't go away. However, there is also the pros to ensnare being removed, and it is a fact that ensnare is the worst thing since domino when it comes to failing abilities. Because here's how ensnare works. Ensnare does not care. It's a rhyme even. Ensnare just does not care, bro, because it can fail literally anything in this game. It can probably fail this video. It's so crazy. It can probably fail you going down the stairs. You could probably fall down the stairs, and you wanna know what? It was ensnare that did it, because it is just so insane, man. It is genuinely just so broken. And you want a good example of ensnare being just really stupid? Crossbones, who can, reduce ability accuracy. His ability accuracy reduction can fail because of ensnare. Ensnare can fail failure. I cannot wrap my head around, like, what the heck this ability is, why it was allowed in the first place. Why does Okoye have it and she's fine? Like, ensnare is just really stupid. I do not like the ability whatsoever. I do not like it on characters, but I absolutely love the evade counter portion of it. That is very good. And we have to also talk about the fact that she is a science character, and science characters are notorious evade counters, so I am completely against removing her evade counter. However, I'm not completely opposed to replacing the evade counter, because when you look at the amount of characters in the science class that counter evade, first of all, it's a huge list. Second of all, it is exclusively by ability accuracy reduction, because slow is exactly that, and there are other abilities that are exactly that, just reducing the ability accuracy of evade. Spider-Woman, she just completely turned off evade, which is not a science trope, it is a skill trope. So what I would do personally is replace her current ensnare with any other form of countering evade. Would I pick slow? Probably not, because that just adds on to her attacker value, which really is not needed given just how powerful she is. She just took down the serpent, for crying out loud, so I wouldn't really give her extra stuff, but I would just give her a perfect replacement. That replacement is agility, an ability that Kabam really needs to start adding to characters. characters because it is a very, very good science ability. What it does is it reduces the ability accuracy of dexterity and evade by a certain percentage. For Spider-Woman's case, it would be 100%. And this can replace not only the ensnare, but also the fumble, because the fumble is just the dex part, not the evade part, but when you combine the two, you get agility, which is exactly what this character needs to just like be what she was before, but more science-like and so much less annoying on defense, because I do not want my ability accuracy to be failed by another ability accuracy thing. That just still baffles me, man. It really still baffles me. And I am honestly glad that they acknowledge the fact that the ensnare ability accuracy reduction is just too crazy. I'm not happy with the fact that they took away the evade counter. And the evade counter is good. Like, why take away something good from a pretty like awesome character? I don't get it, right? I completely get taking away the complete BS that is the ensnare ability accuracy reduction, but just give us the evade counter back in any form. You want to talk about class wheels? Well, guess what? There's a mystic champion that has halt and also has acid burn. Two science abilities. A mystic character having science abilities. So was Spider-Woman having ensnare the worst thing ever? Maybe not, because it's like already proven that the class wheel kind of just is nothing, right? So why not give Spider-Woman Pursuit, which is just a regular evade counter. It is a passive, it's fine, it would work. It would be a great substitute because I think she needs an evade counter still. I think a lot of players appreciated the evade counter portion of Spider-Woman. I definitely didn't appreciate the ensnare part, the ability accuracy reduction part, but I loved the evade counter part of this character, and I really want it back. I don't want it to go away because I really could use that PC utility, and I think a lot of people can, and I think that it can be very easily replaced. I think agility is the best way to go for sure if you want to keep it more to like a science level, which is countering evade via ability accuracy reduction. I think that is phenomenal. It makes her not even like as good as she once was because she can't do bullseye that way. And hey, you know what? Class wheel, right? Can't take bullseye. That makes sense. That should be the case. So I really hope that it is. I really hope it's addressed, right? I really hope it's addressed because as it stands right now, while I am happy about the terrible thing known as ensnare being gone, I am not happy with one of her, I would dare say, core pieces of utility being gone, and we just have to try to fix that. We really have to try to fix it, and I really hope that Kabam does listen to all the outrage that has been caused, because I've been looking at all the outrage, I've been looking at all the discourse in the official Mcoc server, I've been listening to all of it, and I have been understanding, and now I'm giving my own piece of like, I'm putting my hat in this dang ring, okay? Because I do want to be vocal about it, because usually I'm not vocal about things, and maybe it paints a bad picture. Maybe I should start talking about these things publicly, because I'll tell you what, I do talk about it privately a lot, and I try my best to make it known when I'm not happy about something, but I just don't do it on the channel. Maybe I should start doing it on the channel, which we're gonna see how this video does. And you know what, at the end of the day, I still absolutely love Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. She is one of my all-time favorite characters. I think she cracks the top 10 at this point. And even if nothing happens with like the change to ensnare, or like even if nothing happens with like the evade counter being replaced, I would still love this character big time, but it would just kind of irk me that they didn't listen. So yeah, I'm not like, this isn't new to me, right? My top 3 favorite characters are Mole Man, Namor, and Gladiator, and 2 of those 3 have gotten nerfed, so this isn't my first rodeo. And hey, maybe if they listen to this one, we can also get Mole Man and Namor unnerfed, please. Please, I'm begging. I'm kidding, they're both great characters as is, but it would be appreciated. But let me know your thoughts on Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, and yeah, that's about it for me.